Hi, I'm Catherine Jeff. Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to show you how to paint architecture using watercolour and pen. If you do use a pan, it's a good idea just to spray with water. This just helps soften the paint a bit. I'll wet all over and then we can just going to start off with a grey blue. Already got quite a mucky colour in the palette, so I just want it quite sort of loose. Leaving the odd areas of white paper, take out the odd little bit of cloud. I'm just going to go in with this sort of stone colour. I'm not too worried at this stage about it being specific. It's quite dark in that area, so I've gone a little bit more concentrated. Just suggestions at this stage. And I can just add water just to disperse some of that paint. Leaving areas of white just so it sort of adds interest, because a lot of this will be done with the pen. Now actually this is quite light, so might just pick out the darkest sections for now rather than filling it all in. Because this is so light compared to the sky, I might actually go back in with that sky and just go in darker around there. Can you see that suddenly leaps forward in doing that? So that's always quite a nice thing to do. Just drag the colour out a bit. We've got sort of lawn area down here. Don't want it too bright green, so it will look out of place. I might actually add a bit of yellow and see what that happens. Yeah, that's quite nice. Just adding water to that paint just to bring it down. Now can you see this wash that was on here is pulling down? That's quite nice actually. I'm just going to mix a darker stone colour because we need a lot of these shadows to be put in now. If we wanted really crisp hard lines, we'd have to wait for this paper to dry, because the wetter your paper, when you put paint on, the more it's going to spread or travel in the water. So if you do want hard lines at this next stage, you're better off drying the paper. But I'm going to go in just with it slightly damp just to see what happens. So this is a really dark section under here, so I'm just going to start to pull in some architectural detail, but not too much. So I'm just looking where the dark sections are. Because I'm still using a big brush, I'm not getting too fiddly yet. So this is how you can not get fiddly, just don't change your brush. And flat brushes are quite good because you can tip them and get a smaller point, or use them flat just by using the same brush. You don't have to keep changing it all the time. Back ends of the columns are quite dark. Again, I'm not being too fussy about it because a lot of the detail will come in with the pen. Just looking for these tones and suggestions. There's a lovely dark shadow there. Trying to get these sort of suggestions of archways. Some really dark bit in between those columns there. This whole back section really needs to start getting dark. I'm just going to do one more area of paint, and that's going to be with a really dark browny colour. So just going in, you can squint at your picture and then you get the darkest tones. It's easy to see the tones when you squint. So we're starting to get a more 3D element to it now. I'm not sort of too worried about all the fiddly detail. I'm just literally looking at lights and darks, because when you do architecture, especially fiddly architecture like this, I mean, you can get a bit overwhelmed, like acorns on the top here and all these statues. There's so much. But if you just break it down into like a light tone, a mid-tone and a dark tone, and just see where those tones are rather than what the object is, that really helps simplify things. to dry it now with the hairdryer, because when the pen goes on it needs to be dry. Start off with the extra small and just see how we get on. So I'm going to start off just by putting the odd bit of detail in, almost like you're sketching it. Again, this isn't an architectural representation, it's just a sketch really. I'm just looking closely at what I'm looking at, so a few seconds here, a few seconds there. Some bits here that I didn't really put in with the paint, so I can go a little bit harder and just do the thin suggestions for now. I've got the medium pen now, so we've done our thin details, so now we can go back in and look at our real darks. Might just define a little bit here, just feel like it needs a bit grounding. Can't really do a shadow that side because that sun's coming from this way, so that blurs in, but there is definite shadow here, and that sort of grounds that a little bit without defining a definite line. And in fact, if I just do that background, you can see that sort of pulls that forward and just fizzle that out. I give the dark shadows a helping hand to really pull stuff forward. You could get a smaller brush, but I quite like a challenge of a big brush. Right, finishing touches, I've got this, it's called a Posca pen. It's basically a white permanent marker, but you could use gouache with a rigger brush, thin brush if you wanted to. But it's really nice just to give you sort of highlights. So there's sort of suggestions, isn't there, here of windows that are sort of got a bit lost. So it's up to you how far you go with the highlighter. It's a personal choice. I'm mainly concentrating on the left hand side. That's quite a sharp line actually, that one, I've sort of missed that. I really like that area because it's got that cast shadow shaded that side, so think about that when you... I think that might be it. I always say that and then I carry on for another 5 minutes because it's really nice this bit, doing this bit. Again, you can get a little bit carried away if you're not careful. But again, personal choice, so you might want to really enjoy doing these sorts of little bits. So there you go. Radcliffe Camera in Oxford. I hope you got a lot out of the video. Even if you just have a play around, see how you go with it. Some people do pen first actually, but I always find it easier just to do the wash first. But personal choice, like every type of painting, it's however you get on with it. So have a play anyway, and hope it's inspired you. See you next time. Bye.